Well, the SGX Nifty is indicating that we'll have a flat start with a bit of a negative bias, 20 points down. Now, of course, yesterday we saw this big bounce back, perhaps on, somewhat on expected lines because the market became overshot and you had a lot of short covering. So a lot of weak shorts perhaps would have been taken to cleaners. The problem is this morning, perhaps the market might be sitting on some longs from yesterday after the kind of rally that we had, especially in the last hour. And they could be in a bit of a problem this morning. How should you approach the day today? We have Ashwini Gujral, Mitesh Thakkar and Prakash Kaba now joining us. Good morning, Ashwini. How would you approach the indices?
Well, good morning. I think we are still in this 10,000, 11,000 band. Now, because we have different events, the market tends to show you, oversold positions and bounce backs and 2 days of good rally and then collapse. Given what FIs did yesterday, and chances are Indian investors, traders, they bought. I mean, you are in a pretty balanced kind of market. So the real trade to take is either at 10,000 or at 11,000. Here you can make your 200 points, come back, give them back, etc. So within the middle of the larger range, I don't think you can really stretch your luck. Maybe the market range is kind of narrowing in the short run, like 10,350 yesterday's low and 10,750. But overall, I wouldn't go too much by that. This is volatility. We were at 10,600 on Thursday. We are at 10,600 today. So nothing has changed. We need extremes to engineer larger rallies.
Fair point. So the contours on the Nifty Bank, I mean, it's just a little more important because it has elements like Kotak and that is kind of related to the new governor. So any view specifically on Nifty Bank and Kotak?
See, again, it's about extremes. When that Buffett news came, Kotak ran up, suddenly 8-10%. Then it gave up all the gains. Now again, these are hope trades that, okay, the next governor will be kind to them. So, 25, 700, 800 on the bank Nifty is fairly strong support. On the upside, maybe 26, 650, 750. So this is a smaller range within the larger range. But the real big multi-day rallies or multi-day declines will happen from the, bigger range that is already there.
Okay, well, Mitesh Thakkar and Prakash Gaba are also with us. Mitesh, good morning. What would your view be? Yesterday was a great day to go long. You think today would also play out like that or not quite?
Good morning, Sonia. So, yes, yesterday was a great day to go long, but to be very honest, we were not aggressively long. In fact, I was looking at some kind of bounce backs to go short, and that trade also got stopped out during the day. My belief is that I think it will be a choppy market. Maybe around 10,333, which was the intraday low yesterday. We made some kind of a short-term low. But on the upside, as you get closer to about 10,600 and then 10,700, 750 zone, I think these are two areas where strong supply will emerge. So first thing, I think we are at 10,600. Let's see if we can start getting past that. If not, then I think we might do a range of about 10,600 to about 10,350. If yes, then maybe around 10,750, which is the 200-day average area, gap area. Some of the moving averages also converge there. So I think that will become the upper end of the range. So for the timing, I think it's a market which you would want to trade on stock specific basis. But if there is weakness, I believe that we are closer to the upper end of the range, and therefore I think I would be more prone to exploring some kind of shorting opportunities via the options route.
Mitesh, good morning. What about the Nifty Bank and also the IT index?
Yeah. So Anuj, I think between these two indices, I think Nifty Bank does definitely look more interesting. I think today with some kind of news flow which has happened, I think the PSU banking stocks and index could do well. But that apart, technically the Nifty Bank, I think looks like possibly could head towards 26,600 if it can sustain about 26,150. So I think the first trade in the morning would be to check if the bank Nifty is showing some follow through with the PSU banking stocks in focus. About 26,150, maybe a mile long can be explored, and that would possibly keep some good strength to the Nifty as well. The Nifty IT looks a mixed bag. I think the stocks are now consolidating after some kind of correction and then a mild bounce back. My sense is that we will not see much action in the Nifty IT for the next few days, but more of a smaller choppy range.
Okay. We have Prakash with us. Good morning, Prakash. So, what's the index strategies?
Good morning, Lata. Well, so far what we have seen is 10,350 was a strong support zone to work with. Yes, and yesterday we saw a low somewhere closer to that. Exactly similar is the case. We had somewhere around 650, 25, 650 on Bank Nifty, bounced from that zone. So far it is up. Looks like those lows should hold. As long as they hold, upside is on until Christmas rally. So possible that we could see an up move from here. The upside is possible to around 10,637 on the upside, and if it goes beyond that to 10,710, quite possible, since we have run up too fast, we could see a dip, but those dips will be buying opportunity as there's a strong support on intraday basis somewhere closer to 10,460. So possible if a dip comes, those are buying opportunity. Best is today stock specific.
Okay, Prakash, good morning. Interesting set of stocks that you've chosen. The beaten down stocks which are showing some signs of bounce. Ashok Leyland, Sun Pharma. Take us to the list.
These are the stocks I take a certain setup, tells me that I'm not going down. Possible I may go up in the couple of days. So I've not selected strong stocks, but it's what the stocks that I've seen weakness. Ashok Leyland, yes, looks like closer to 100 zones, could see an up move to maybe around 110 zones, stop below 100 should be okay. I also like Grasim, exactly a similar setup. If it has to go up, the place is just right. Possible target on the upside, 825, stop below 720. ITC, I have the stocks in my own portfolio, I like the stock, possible target on the upside, perhaps around 280, 285 zones in the days to come, stop below 270. And I also like Mahindra and Mahindra. The entire auto markets were doing well yesterday. I think Mahindra and Mahindra can climb to levels closer to 745 zones, stop below 710.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Ashwini, what about you? What would be the stocks on your list today?
Tara और Jet आपस में नहीं करेंगे. Jet करेगा.
Ashwini?
Okay, let's go to
Okay, we'll go to Mitesh then. Mitesh, what about you? What would be on your list today?
Yeah. So I have a mix of buys and sells. I think a couple of stocks which could be a buy would be one of them would be CEAT. I think it's been consolidating with the upper end at 1270, and the stock is closed just below that. So in case we see follow through beyond 1270, I would take a long on a breakout about 1271.72. Keep a stop at 1255. Look for a target of 1300. Godrej Industries, good continuation signals. Buy with a stop at 546 for targets of 565. And Kajaria Ceramics, it was a call earlier as well. The intraday charts have turned positive, so buy with a stop at 438. Look for targets of 460. And a solitary sell call on HPCL after a long time. I think the refinery stocks are now showing signs of mild cooling off. That's a sell with a stop at 225 for targets of 210.
Okay. Ashwini, I think you had your earpiece off when we were speaking with you. What are your stocks?
See, I think given the scenario that we are in, consumption will see buying. So that way, Jubilant Food is a buy with a stop of 1240, target of 1285. Havels is a buy with a stop of 685, target of 710. Bata is a buy with a stop of 1060, target of 1095. Titan is a buy with a stop of 925, target of 960. And Asian Paint is a buy with a stop of 1300, target of 1365. From yesterday, this consumption, building material, home improvement, these sort of stocks are kind of showing strength.
The best.
All right. Thank you very much for that. We will come back to you all with lots more questions. But for the moment, let's discuss the new appointment that we have, the RBI a new governor being appointed. Let's ask someone who has seen many such cycles in RBI. Pranab Sen, former advisor of the Planning Commission, former chief statistician, has joined us, as well Jason Yek, the country risk analyst at Fitch Solutions, joins us. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Dr. Sen, well, we've seen a lot of rift, and then we have Mr. Das's appointment. Do you think this is for the better?
Lata, it's too early to comment on how Mr. Das will run the RBI. And I have absolutely no problems. I've known him for a while. I have no problems with his appointment at all. My problem is in the manner in which the appointment was made, which is very unfortunate that, practically within 24 hours of Dr. Patel's resignation, the new governor gets put in place, which gives the unfortunate impression that this was already planned for. And that is going to put an enormous amount of strain on Mr. Das because he will have to go out of his way to be able to establish his independence. And that's not an enviable place for him to be.
Okay. In fact, Jason Yek, who is the country risk analyst at Fitch Solutions, also joins in. Jason, hi, morning. You guys have a similar view, right? You put out a note where you said that the new RBI governor could potentially be more amenable to the government's requests that were made during the November board meeting, and this could potentially be negative for India's financial stability. Now we know the name of the new governor. What's your own view, on which way things could head? And, does the risk premium go up now for India?
Hi. We believe that the prompt appointment of the ex-finance ministry official as the new RBI governor will ease concerns, as he is seen as an individual with a cordial relationship with the Indian government. We expect him to succeed in achieving a delicate balance between the government's requests and managing financial stability in the country over the coming months. But more importantly, we at Fitch Solutions believe that Das will have to demonstrate to market participants that he is able to steer the central bank's monetary policy decisions autonomously amid growing government pressure, following which the achievement of this balance would serve to calm the market.
Well, Jason, I don't think there's any problem with monetary policy at all. It is now handled by 6 people, of which the governor is only one member. Of course, he has a casting vote, but the monetary policy perhaps is not, it's in a sense a different institution. The problem will be about how he handles the banking system, especially because there is pressure that he should be kinder or give some sops to small and medium companies, that he should allow some banks which have been put under a straitjacket, the prompt corrective action because they are weak, that they should be released from that straitjacket. All these are pre-election compulsions which a government is faced with. So, would you wait to hold your judgment and see how he handles this? Are you worried that he may handle it in favor of the government?
In some ways, I think it could be, it's quite premature to actually come to a conclusion as to whether his decisions will be definitely good or bad for the economy. But we believe that given his career as a bureaucrat and the current low inflation environment and downside pressure on global growth, we believe that he will be able to position the RBI's monetary policy stance towards a more growth-directed stance. And this would also be in line with the government's objectives.
Dr. Sen, come in on that. What's your own view of how Shaktikanta Das would approach the entire PCA issue? Because there's an expectation that there would be a relaxation of this framework now that he comes on board. Do you think if that comes through, that would delay the resolution of the mounting NPAs and the pressure that we're seeing in the banking system?
Well, let me first sort of come in a little bit on what you said about the monetary policy being handled by 6 people. Frankly, there's only one dimension of monetary policy that's being handled by 6 people. Issues which are really, to my mind, much more important than what you do with rates is really the liquidity issue. And that's been under discussion for a while. That's not handled by the MPC. That's almost entirely handled by the governor himself. So one would want to see what happens on that front. As far as the PCA is concerned, the fact is that some of the banks who are under PCA are almost ready to come out of it. Now, whether it makes sense at this juncture to relax the PCA is a question that Mr. Das is going to have to face. It may be better to allow the 4 banks who are really on the brink of coming out of it to do so first.
Okay, well, so there can be 2 views on that, because some of them have actually shown, and even the 4 banks you're referring to, with single-digit net NPAs, a couple of them have shown an increase in their net NPA from Q1 to Q2.
Yeah, but those are not. These things happen. There's a lumpiness to this process. I won't worry too much about that.
Okay, but would he be judged on the Reserve Bank capital issue? If the capital were given, would that be extremely negative? And I will ask Jason also that.
Sadly, we've been focusing excessively on that. I think there is some justice to the government's position. And it's something that I think one just needs to debate at a larger level. Now, you've already put a committee in place to go into that issue. And if the committee gets superseded and a decision is taken without the committee submitting reports, yes, it will send out a bad signal. So I don't think that's going to happen. And I believe that we should just give it some time and see whether they allow the committee to function or not.
Right. It's also a case of prejudging, I agree. But then these are retained earnings over 20 years. Giving it away to one government which is about to go to polls will be resented as well. I mean, it's also an indication of how strong the Reserve Bank is. Jason, if the Reserve Bank's capital is reduced, how will rating agencies look at it?
Fitch Solutions are unable to comment on the ratings outlook as we craft our views independently from our ratings colleagues, and we do not assign ratings to countries or companies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. I think we'll leave it at that. I think, as both of you say, we cannot prejudge the new governor. We will have to see what decisions he takes. And as Dr. Sen says, the appointment itself is positive.